Morning. It's January 22nd, 2018. I just got to the gym. Today's upper body won't go for too long because I got to go to the doctor's. So I'll bang out what I can. Probably just do a half-hour cardio today. Maybe afterwards I'll try to do another workout or something. My second workout last night was a no-go because, like I said, my office is a constant come and go, so everybody's got a key to it. It makes it difficult to be able to do anything else. So I might have to try to figure something else out as far as just a small little second workout in the evening. Today, obviously gym, and then from there I gotta go straight to the doctor for a checkup on the lower back. I'm sure he'll give me release for full duty. I'm a month ahead of schedule. Every injury I've had, I've always been ahead of schedule recovering. So I guess I'm just a little faster healer than some. Just a slower version of Wolverine sometimes. So after that, I got to stop by my attorney, fill out some paperwork and stuff for this workers' comp case and the first workers' comp case. Basically, I didn't want to deal with an attorney. And the first one, after 4 months of just going through pure hell, I finally got one. And I told him, I'm like, my one coworker that I worked with, his case went so smooth and everything, no hiccups. And I told my attorney's assistant is who I end up talking to every time. And I told her, I said, I must be unlucky, And she's like, no, I said something else to the effect that, he was the lucky one. That was it. That he was lucky that his went so smooth. Because I assumed everybody's went bad. And she's like, no, you're just the unlucky one because usually they do go smooth and yours doesn't. And then this second case, it's like, I wasn't going to use the attorney again. And it was only 3 days into it. And there was a mess up with getting my MRI. And they put down in the paperwork, the urgent care put down stat, which in Virginia means you don't need approval to do the MRI. You just do it. And halfway to the place, they called me and they're like, oh yeah, we can't do it because we don't have approval. I'm like, dude, the paperwork says stat. That means you don't need approval. No, you always need approval. I'm like, you do realize I left work like 15, 20 minutes ago. I'm almost to you guys, So I said, all right, whatever. I called up urgent care, or I drove into urgent care since it's on the way back to work. And the nurse looked at me and she's like, aren't you supposed to be getting an MRI? I said, no, they told me they couldn't give me one because they need prior approval. And this girl is like, she's maybe 5 foot at that, probably like 70 pounds. Like, she's a small little girl. And she got on the phone. She blew up on him. I went from being ticked off to smiling because I'm like, holy shnikes. And she's like, stat means you don't need approval and blah, blah, blah. And we've sent people there with, with stat, and you guys never needed prior approval and all this and that. And finally, after 10 minutes, I'm like, I just looked there. I said, no problem. My attorney's up the road. I'll just go to them. And she was apologizing. It had nothing to do with her. So I went to my attorney. And I said, okay, I got you another case. Here you go. And it wasn't like 30 minutes after, leaving the attorney that the MRI place called. And they're like, oh, can we reschedule for today? I'm like, oh, we're changing our tune now, huh? So in the end, they're going to, whatever settlement I get, the attorney's going to end up getting it. So, which they're already talking about taking taking their part out of the first settlement and then taking the second settlement part out of the first one to make sure that they get their money. And it's like, just go ahead. I don't care. You know, I'm not expecting to get anything. I mean, you know, my knee pops and cracks, and, you know, every squat I do, it crunches and crunches and crunches, you know. And I know I'm going to be lucky to hit, you know, 44, 45 before it really gets bad. And then the lower back, it's like, I guess you can't get a permanency rating on the lower back. It's like, sweet, you know. It's only going to be messed up the rest of my life, and I'm only going to have, you know, metal and hardware in there for the rest of my life, but that's awesome. You know, so they want me to see if I'll have any permanent damage in the legs or somewhere else that's affected by the back. So it's just a mess, but it's better than getting screwed around. I mean, like I said, the first one was 4 months of getting screwed around. They sent me to their doctor, which is, you know, the protocol, and he gave me note, you know, it's like first thing they want to do is send you to physical therapy. Well, my knee is 4 times the size it should be. And you want me to go to physical therapy? You know, the way I look at it, physical therapy is for after you've fixed the injury and now you're trying to strengthen it and heal it up. So that was excruciating. And then he finally ordered an MRI. And then he gave me a doctor's note until the results of the MRI. And he looked at the MRI and everything. And then, you know, he told me, you know, he'll let me know. Next thing you know, it's end of January, beginning of February, and workers' comp's like, you know, oh, we finally got a hold of the doctor, and he said that you were released to full duty. I'm like, he never gave me a note. I can't go back to work without a note that says I can work. So the very next day I went in with no appointment. I'm like, look, I got to talk to him right now because, you know, workers' comp cut off my money, and I got to go to work. So I went into him. I'm like, yeah. You know, and workers' comp even said they wanted a second opinion because, you know, they're having difficulties with their own doctor. I'm like, really? Seriously? That's awesome. You don't even trust your own doctor. How about I pick a doctor then? So when I went in and told them, I'm like, look, they're sending me for a second opinion. You know, if you're giving me full duty, give me a freaking note so I can go back to work. At that point, he gave me a note for no work until the second opinion. I'm like, and then I didn't get paid that whole month because of the fact that, yeah, and I got a note that says I can't work. So he totally screwed me. And then second opinion, guys like, you can either deal with the pain and the clicking or we can do surgery. I'm like, surgery? Oh, we could set it up for, you know, Thursday, which was like 4 days away. I'm like, go ahead. And he's like, well, workers' comp hasn't approved it. I said, set it up anyways. You know, I said, I'm tired of this. He set it up. I called workers' comp. They're like, oh, we won't have an answer until Friday by noon. I'm like, you can't push that a little sooner? I mean, seriously, I can be set up by Thursday. You're going to approve it anyways. Why drag this out? Friday morning, they called me and they're like, oh, you're approved. I'm like, yeah, and I could have had surgery yesterday. So the doctor was nice. He got me in a month later because the waiting list was like 3 months. But he had a patient that was constantly, you know, canceling on him. So he's like, screw that guy. And shoved me in his spot for a month later because he, you know, after I told him about all the dicking around I was getting. But yeah, that went from, I got injured like end of October. And I was back to work by June, I was allowed to work. And at that point, it was like middle of July by the time I got the job I'm at now. But holy shnikes, and we're still fighting. It's like 3 years later, 3 to 4 years later. No, 3 years later. It's like 3 years later, you know. And we're still battling with them. And all it is getting a permanency rating on my knee. That's all it is. And my attorney already paid for the doctor to do it. And, you know, and then when I went to see the doctor, he wanted me to do physical therapy and I gotta remember that. Do physical therapy and do another MRI and everything. So, and by the time they got back around to trying to get the permanency rating, they're like, oh yeah, you didn't pay us. My attorney's like, yeah, we did. And that turned into a whole ordeal. So it's like 3 years and we're still screwing around with something that's minor. Like if I did get a settlement, it wouldn't be much. Like I know a dude that had his toe cut off and they gave him $100,000 like right up front. You know, they're like, here's your settlement. Me, we're talking about just a little knee surgery. They took a quarter-sized piece of bone out from under my kneecap that broke off. You know, it's like you're lucky to get like $1,500 and they want to fight it and fight it and fight it. It's like, really, you're gonna fight that little tiny battle? You know, and yet the bigger ones you don't even try on, you'd rather pay them out? It makes no sense to me. It's not even worth their attorney's time, you know? So, it's stupid. But, once again, didn't mean to make this video go long. You know, I'm going to constantly hit on a subject that's going to make me go off. So, but the rest of them for today shouldn't be too long because other than going to the doctor, you know, I'll probably grab a pick or two from the doctor and shove it in here. But other than that, really shouldn't be anything else going on today. And then, you know, see how tomorrow goes. I had to contact my engineer to let him know. He had me set up for a job at 8 o'clock for 2 hours. I'm like, dude, I have a doctor's appointment at like 8:15, you know, and 2 hours isn't worth my time. And it's right up the road too, so it's not like you're getting, you know, an hour to 2 hours of travel time. I'll literally get like 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of drive time. It's like, yeah, this is loads of fun. Worst part is, as soon as I get released to full duty, then then you get stuck with doing all the manual labor back to where, you know, my back will just be killing me the whole time. I mean, you're talking about lugging 200 pounds worth of concrete around in a wheelbarrow and then being hunched over doing all your tests and moving an 80-pound case with a gauge in it and carrying that all over site, and it just gets ridiculous. That's why I'm really want to get out of this industry, but right now I can't afford to. You know, I can't afford to do anything. I'm sort of right now just happy to have a job, so I'm stuck having to basically, you know, kill myself and wear myself out until I can do something. So, but anyways, cut this off because people are already showing up and I want to get a workout in. So, until later, I hope you guys have a great day, man. Okay. Okay, guys. I just finished up at the gym. I started out in the free weight room. There was only like 4 people in there when I got in there. Unfortunately, there was like 15 or 20 by the time I said the heck with this and went to the machines. But I did get some free weights in. It felt kind of good. I started out on the lighter side just because I don't know where I'm at as far as weights. So, I mean, I got a decent workout in. I'm not going to say, you know, I went 100%, you know, on for max weight on 15 reps. But, you know, to start out, you know, I felt the stretches, I felt the muscles and all that, so I'm happy with it. Like I said, unfortunately, you know, everybody wants to do free weights, so it just fills up so quick, and next thing you know, you go to do a butterfly on the bench, and your butterfly is hitting the dude's butterfly next to you, and next thing you know, you got 2 butterflies hitting each other, and I don't know how that's supposed to work. I mean, if it was a chick, there might be a spark or something, I don't know, but no, another dude, no, that's just not right. Plus, you're lifting. You're there to lift, not pick up chicks, which is probably why I don't have a girlfriend, because I just never hit on chicks. I just too respectful, and you know, I just assume that they're either automatically taken or not interested. It's just easier. I have yet to come across one girl that's actually willing to ask me out. I've heard of these girls from other girls, but you know, it doesn't always have to be the guy asking the girl out, is how I feel. I mean, I'm old school to a point. So, anyways, off that, get off the lovey relationship crap. So I started out with the free weights, then moved over to the machines, which actually felt kind of good. You know, to do the free weights, you get better range of motion, you're getting more of your muscles working. You get a better stretch, count on, you know, my butterflies, I go past the chest. It's just the way I've always done it, even on the machine where you're doing the butterfly. I set the pin back as far as I can, so you basically grab one, you pull it a little bit to grab the other. That also helps me ensure that when I come back, I'm not going to slam the plates. If, you know, I did a couple videos of me working out. If I do more counting on the machine and everything, you'll notice I sort of stare at the weights, and that's because I want to make sure I don't slam them. Some of them it's difficult for me because I'm a big guy, so I can only squeeze into a certain setting, and sometimes that setting isn't like low enough for the movement I want. So like, you know, like a leg press, if you watch that little clip, you'll see that, you know, basically I get my feet up there, my butt's not near the seat, and that's because I'm higher up on the back of the bench in order to get my feet up there, and then I slide down and then I press. And even then I kind of wish I could knock it down one more peg, because that's like number 2. I'd kind of want to knock it down to 1, you know, and that way it makes me feel more comfortable knowing that I'm not anywhere close to slamming the weights. At that point, I don't have to, you know, stare at the weights. I can stare at my feet, I guess. I don't know. But maybe someday, you know, maybe when I lose some more weight and everything. I mean, I'm very flexible. It's not that I'm not flexible, but you know, I still got fat that I got to deal with. I can't just sort of, you know, throw the fat on my shoulder to do leg presses or anything. And I'm glad I can't. I don't want to be that big. I mean, I've hit 370, and it's bad when, you know, the coworker you work with, and you look at him and you're like, man, that's one big mofo. And then you get a picture together and you're like, God, nah. Don't mean to use the Lord's name in vain, people, sorry. But it's like, holy shnikes, you know, I'm actually bigger than you. And he's been telling me that, you know, I just, in your mind, or at least in my mind, I'm not as big as I think I am. Like, I look at my arms, I'm like, oh, those things are puny, you know? And then some people be like, oh my God, those things are massive. You know, I'm like, okay. I don't know, it's just my mindset. My mindset's always toward the negative with my body. You know, like I said, I'll never be happy with my body. So it was just kind of funny, like I said, to get a picture right next to him and be like, you know, really, I'm that much bigger than you? And our weights aren't that far off. I might be a little less than him. Last time I knew, he's trying to lose some weight too, but you know, so I know at one point I got lower than him, and then unfortunately I went back up past him, like way past him, and now I think I'm below him again. I'd have to check with him, see what his weight's at out of curiosity. Maybe make it my own little mental competition against him without him knowing. But yeah, I hit the machines, and the thing is I was feeling the pump, which is basically your muscles, you know, as you're lifting, they get tighter and tighter to the point that I don't want to say it hurts. To me, it doesn't hurt. It feels awesome. And to most lifters out there, when they get the pump, it feels awesome. You know, and you hit that point and it's like you don't want to stop. You just want to keep going and going. And that's kind of what happened, was I just kept going. So I didn't get any cardio in. But I figure after the doctor's, you know, after a doctor's appointment, I can always go for a long walk or something like that. Get some type of cardio in. If I miss a day of cardio, it's not going to kill me. I also noticed yesterday I weighed myself with my scale, and I was like 288. I think it was 288.2. Well, when I was at the gym after I got done working out, out of curiosity, I weighed myself on their scale, and I actually weighed less. So I don't know which scale is closer to being correct. I mean, they could both be off. But all I know is mine is digital, and unfortunately, to store it, I got to put it on its side. And I don't know if that messes with the sensors and stuff. Because usually when you have a scale like that, you put it in the bathroom, you leave it in there, and then you don't have to worry about stuff jarring it around and everything else, and it stays pretty accurate. But when you put it on its side, I know at least the older ones used to, mess up. So I don't know if it's that or if someone messed up the one at the gym. The one at the gym is just like the doctor's office with the little weight you slide across and all that. I'm not going to tell you what, I weighed myself again today, and I'm actually a little less on this scale than I was yesterday, but I'm not going to tell you that weight because, I'm weighing myself with my scale, and I kind of want to be consistent. I only weighed myself today to see if the scale would suddenly go back to what my scale said or not. So, and once again, the amount of people weighing themselves on this gym scale and people, jumping on it to weigh themselves. I mean, there's a lot of factors in how fast it can be out of calibration. So, and whether the gym actually gets it calibrated or not, or they just leave it in there for 5 years straight and don't care, I don't know. They have a digital one, but that's out in the weight room. So I'm not going to strip down to my skivvies to, weigh myself to see what that says. Nobody would appreciate it, not even me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, doctor's appointment, see what he says. See if I can find out about the swelling in my ankles and feet, out of curiosity, if that has anything to do with my lower back, being the fact that I've never had that before. Just like that funky little, I don't like calling it a rash, because to me a rash is more red and itchy and all that. This, it only itches if you rub it or itch it, and it's sort of, I mean, they're like white dots, almost like pimples that aren't poking out. I don't mean to gross you out or anything, but I've never had it before. And, first thing I get from the one nurse is, oh, you should be wearing flip-flops in the shower at the gym. You get all types of infections and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean, I get it. I'm not stupid as far as what people do in the shower. It's some nasty stuff, but in 25 years, I've never had a problem. Like, I just never thought about it. I scrub my feet and everything while I'm in there, and I've never had a problem. I've never had a problem with my feet at all. And then the swelling is a little bit in the feet, and it's almost like a donut around the ankle. So my ankle comes, let's see if I can do this right. It comes down, and then it dips, and then it's like a donut shape around both ankles. It's weird. So I'm thinking it's like a fluid buildup somehow, because last night I sort of massaged them and worked them a little bit, and they sort of flattened out, but then they returned again today. So I'm thinking it's from sleeping in my truck, not having my legs straight out, not being totally flat basically, and my heart, your heart slows down as you sleep because you're in rest mode, so it's not pumping as much, but the blood is, flows down to the feet, and the circulation probably isn't pumping it back up. I did a little research, but there's like 50 different things it could be, and you can weed out some of them, but I mean, it could be blood clot, it could be, there's like valves, I think they're valves in your vein, don't quote me on it, I don't totally remember what it says, but it's like valves in the vein, so that basically the blood pumps down and then it can't go back up. But they say that sometimes, the valve will get stuck and the fluid will go down and then back up, and it sort of just, builds right there. But I know in my heart, I've diagnosed myself many, many times. I've always been right, with every injury I've had. and I know it has to do with me sleeping in my truck and my feet being lower than the rest of my body. You know, the rash is probably from me wearing my boots, you know, basically 24 hours a day. I mean, I took them off last night along with my socks for 10 minutes in the office. But, I mean, 10 minutes ain't nothing. I mean, you got to figure at night you sleep without them for, I don't know, kind of how much sleep you get, 5 to 10 hours, you know, which gives them time to air out and do all their foot things. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'll update you later if something exciting happens or whatever. But other than that, have a good day. How's it going, guys? So yeah, today wasn't the happiest day, I guess, but I'm trying to go with the, oh well, life happens, you know, way about it, I guess. I went to the doctor. I went in, you know, like all types of assumptions that he's gonna release me to full duty and everything else. I guess I just I thought about it too much or something. I don't know, but I mean, I told him about, you know, working out at the gym and doing cardio and lifting weights, and you know, he's like, oh, let's see how far you can, you know, reach to the floor. And I mean, I bent right over, put my hands under my feet and everything, and he's like, oh wow, you're, you know, super flexible. I'm like, yeah. And then he looks at me and says, yeah, I'm gonna suggest 2 more months of physical therapy and keep you on light duty. I'm like, awesome. So 2 more months of going further and further in debt. Sounds like a winner. So that's what I got. 2 more months of physical therapy, 3 times a week for 8 weeks. They hand me the doctor's note to, or actually the physical therapy request paper to give to the physical therapist. First thing I did was glance over it. I'm like, this doesn't say anything about the duration, you know, 2 months, 3 times a week, nothing. And she, you know, the secretary, I said she was going to take it back to the doctor. She comes back. She's like, oh, well, you know, he said just do what you've been doing. And it's like, I'm not going to argue. I know the reaction of the physical therapist. They need it on paper to give it to workers' comp so that they can get paid. So I took it to physical therapy, and that's exactly what they say. Ooh, this doesn't tell us your duration or how many times or nothing. I'm like, oh, well, I told them. Now you get to have the fun of calling them up and figuring it out. So, don't know what to tell you. It's not my job to do their job, to do your job. My job is to come in here and work out like a monkey and, you know, I don't know, become Superman, I guess, because last time I knew I was doing phenomenal in PT, and supposedly their notes go in the system that the doctor can see, but I don't know. So there's that, which, like I said, you know, the doctor told me. I just smiled. I'm trying the whole let it roll off your back type thing, like don't worry about it type thing. And then I get back to work and, you know, got to hand out the work note, you know, so that they know what my restrictions are. The only thing that changed on my light duty is I'm allowed to lift 15 pounds instead of 5. It's like, do you want to know what I'm lifting in the gym? I mean, I'm not lifting thousands, but, you know, dumbbell bench, there's 250s right there. There's 100 pounds. Just saying. Physical therapy had me doing weighted squats with 85 pounds. So I'm already over your 15 pounds. But once again, whatever. Let it roll it off. So handed those around and got to the one engineer, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we need to work on your certification. You missed by one question." Yeah, I missed by one question the last 2 times. And guess what all 3 times have in common? You didn't give me all the study material. Every time they are missing a piece here or a piece there. This time they were missing 7 questions worth of study material, which 7 questions won't fail you, but you got to give me room to miss a couple on my own. I'm not perfect in any way. I mean, I get out to the job site, everything clicks. You put me in a room with a test and, a clock that's tick, 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 tick. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm freaking out. It's just my mind's on other things. I'm sitting here trying to answer a question, thinking about, I wonder what the temperature is going to be like tonight for when I sleep in my truck, or do I have enough money to stop at the store to get something to eat, or should I take a day off from eating and, not worry about it, And sometimes it's just, I wonder what I'm going to have for lunch. I mean, it's stupid, but, it's the way my mind thinks. I'm thinking ahead. I'm already done with that test, In my mind, I'm already done with the test. I'm already back to the office, and I'm already doing something else. And it's a mindset I can't get out of. And, obviously they don't have any medications for that stuff, because either that or they keep underdosing me because nothing works. So yeah, I missed by one question again, and the one chapter that we're missing, like we have chapters 1 through 4, but we need chapter 5. Well, the problem is you have to pay for the whole book. So you're paying for all 5 chapters, and it's $700 for 5 chapters when all you need is 1 chapter. And it's like, guess what? Buy the dang chapter. You're going to copy it a million times to put it in study guides and everything else. Your technicians need it to study, to have all the correct information. Just buy it. Get it over with. It's worth the money for you guys. But, so, I'm a little agitated about that. It's like, you got the doctor. Now you got, the certification. Yeah, and, I mean, what did I do? Stopped by my attorney. I had to sign a couple pieces of paper. I got 2 cases with them. The first case has been going on for like 3 years now. They're still trying to get me a permanency rating on my knee so we can finish that case. And she's like, well, the nice thing is we can get you, between this amount and this amount, as a settlement, which will help you. And I said, yeah, but how much is that as your fees? And she started adding them up. I'm like, there you go. And I said, what about this case? Unless it affects my legs, or I can prove that the lower back injury will affect something else, I won't get a permanency rating, which means I won't get a settlement, which means now I owe an attorney money. So I'm like, you know what? Just go ahead and take your fees out of the first one for the second one. Because I'd rather end up with absolutely nothing than to get a little bit of money and then owe you. And she's like, are you sure? Because, you can use the money now. I'm like, yeah, but I don't need to owe you guys later. I sure the heck don't need to owe an attorney later. Because I really don't want to see what that would be like. So, see if it's getting a little dark out. Sorry about the lighting. It's a truck light. I mean, not much I can do about that. Adjust a little bit. So, his secretary, who's, every time I go in there, I'm talking with the secretary. You rarely get to talk to the attorney himself. Attorney's awesome. I mean, he runs marathons and triathlons and quadathlons and anything you can think of. He seems to be super duper active. But, so did that. I had Chipotle for lunch. I'm like, whatever. You know, once again, Chipotle ain't that bad. You know, I could do without their chips, the tortillas. I just got so used to using them to scoop it all. But I had that, which unfortunately, it's like a brick in your stomach. At that point, you don't feel like doing anything. And then, you know, I happen to be looking on my phone, and all of a sudden it's like, Allie Spagnola went live. I'm like, really? She got a workout? Kind of wish I had a little notification. Besides, she's live right now. But I did manage to catch it, you know. They had a good workout, super fast pace. I mean, they were doing like 8-minute increments, like 3-4 things at a time. So, it was her, Beth, and Kim with a Y. So, I mean, they had a really good workout and everything. So I did manage to catch it. And then I kind of dozed off for 20 minutes in my truck, which at that point you wake up and then you feel sore from this morning's workout. And then I go do physical therapy, and at that point I'm in a grumpy ass mood because, you know, so much going on, and then you just woke up and everything else. So, I hate when notifications pop up. They don't want to disappear until I swipe them. So yeah, so basically I apologize to the 2 ladies that do physical therapy a couple times for being just a dick. I don't mean to be. You know, and they're cool about it. They're, you know, the ones like, well, I'll just give it right back. I'm like, please do. You know, I really don't mind if you do, because at least it evens it out. But so yeah, now, you know, I'm hoping that the last couple people leave out so I can get some stuff charged, and I'm really not hungry. That's the one nice thing about Chipotle is I ate it at 1. I probably won't eat anything else tonight because I'm still full. Like, they had me do the plank walkouts on the exercise ball, and I'm lucky that I could hold the, you know, Chipotle in. It was, you know, a heck of a workout. And that's the thing, is my PT workouts are getting more and more intense. And it's like, really? How intense? Like, seriously, how intense does it be? Do I need to do a Spartan run? You know, a Tough Mudder? Like, you tell me what your goal for me is, and I'll hit it right now and be done with it. But I don't know. I mean, yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to stay positive about it. You know, it's tough, but oh well. It is what it is. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow will be leg day. So this morning I didn't get cardio in. Like I said, I was working out and, you know, doing the upper body. It was feeling good, so I just sort of stuck with it. Worked the half-hour cardio. I worked out, you know, lifting weights instead. And I figured I'd go for a walk this afternoon or something, and then it didn't happen. Physical therapy, you know, put me on a treadmill for 10 minutes, but I don't know. I don't consider that a real cardio. But then again, some of the workouts they were doing had me, you know, moving. I mean, I was sweating pretty good. So, I don't know. But yeah, that's where I'm at. This video is going to be long again because I can't seem to just spit out a point and shut up. So, once again, I hope you broke this up in sections. I'm going to say it up front right now. Look at the time on my video and plan accordingly. Split it up however you need to, because I don't think I can get down to 10-20 minute videos like everybody else. Like, it just feels weird to spit out 2 words and there's a piece of my clip, you know. So hopefully I can get better about it, get less chatty and get to the point and not be rambling. So, yeah, like I said, there shouldn't be too much more for tonight. I probably won't even attempt to do bands tonight. And of course, I'm sure everybody will leave out and it'll be the one time that I'll be able to do them. But like I said, I'll have to figure something else out as far as a small workout in the afternoon just to, get a little extra in. So, trying to think if there's something else I need to tell you guys, and for the life of me, it won't come out, but as soon as I hit the end button, I'll be like, oh yeah, I was going to say this. So, I'll go ahead and end it so you guys can go check out Ali Spagnola's video and be happy again. Until tomorrow, just remember, you be you, because in the end, you are awesome. Thank you.